Alright, good afternoon everybody. Dwayne is having issues with his computer. One of them. You know, it's a multiple computer thing for him. So I am just going to start up. With the recap. Okay. There. All right. Now. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to do this slow to give Dwayne some time to get his computer running. Ned, I see you're in the audience. Did you get my response about the coin stuff? There's a couple of things that we gotta do, but anyway. Okay, I'm gonna have to get back in touch with you about the coin stuff. We got some stuff we got to work out. Apparently, our payment processors do not like trading. I mean, do not like processing for cryptocurrencies. So we got to work that out. Okay. Once we do, I will send you an email. I got to make a list. Okay. And we'll have to work all that stuff out. Okay. Well, you don't have to look for it right now. I got to figure it out. And, you know, the problem, no, you cannot, Michael. As a matter of fact, we can only take payments in PayPal right now. We can't take money out. We can't do anything with it. We can only take payments. But payment, yeah, PayPal will not do it. And we tried Square, and Square will not do it either. So we can just do wires, you know, bank wire right now, just straight from your account to our account. And there's a couple different ways to do that. You know, the hard way is to go to the bank and actually do it. I think we might be able to do something with Coinbase, Michael, but I'm not sure about how to do that. I don't know the procedures. I mean, I know we have our Coinbase account. Well, I have mine. Dwayne has his. But his is the one that's really the business one. And we might be able to do something there, but I don't know the process. And you have yours. I mean, well, that's good. You know, if you have your own and you can transfer it from yours to ours, then I think that that's something that we can do. But honestly, I don't know the procedure. If you know the procedure, then that would be awesome if you could tell us. But you know, where is mine? Mine is over here on this tab, and it says, "Uh-oh, an error has occurred." Last time I looked, it was $11,750. And right now it's 11,757. Bitcoin is. Okay. Well, without further ado, let me go over everything that happened this morning in the live training room. It was a quiet day. It was a yellow day. Most of the trades that occurred were on the Russell. I got 2 of them, each one for 1 tick. There were a bunch of them that went for a whole bunch more than that, but I did not get any of them. And, you know, I missed a couple of other trades on other markets. But anyway, let's get into this. Okay. Oh, Bob Z. Don't I owe you a call? Something like that. You and another Bob. Bob M. I owe him a call too. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna get into my recap here. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 5th day of December 2017. If you can read the spreadsheet, you can read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today we had 2 ticks in the Russell. That was it. $10. And we took 4 trading opportunities. We did not get the goal for the day. Okay. All right. So on the month now, we're at 401.25. That's over 3 days, averaging 133 per day gross. On the year, gross yearly total 31,270. That's over 227 days, averaging 137 per day. Okay. Now go to this one. If you have not taken a free trial with us, then go here to the home page at cfrn.net. It says sign up for your CFRN live training room, 100% free trial. User indicators, learn our strategy. Click here. When you click there, you will be sent to this page right here, where we ask for your email, your first name, and how you found us. Then you hit the submit button. Once you hit the submit button, excuse me, once you hit that submit button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation microphone. Here, I'll bring it down here. You must click on that confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial. All right. And that's it for that. So let's take a look at what happened or didn't happen today. All right, in the gold, we had a break even right here. Then the market just collapsed, whipped right back up, came in here, had a bounce off the BBC right here that we did not get filled on, but it went 4 ticks into profit, so we took our order off. And it changed directions, and I missed this one. I don't know why I missed that one right there, but I did miss that one. And that would have been the goal for the day for sure. But then it started consolidating, and it gave us a long trade setup right here that would have been a break even, but we missed it anyway. Another short right here, another break even. And during the break, there was nothing. It's starting to set up a possible long trade right now. What you would do is draw a trend line like that, looking for a close above the trend line, but because we have a dynamic resistance here that has not been broken, you would have to have an entry below the MA1. Okay. Right now the cycle is it's still blue. We haven't hit the BBC, but the cycle is still blue. So there's still a chance there. Okay. Now this one, let's see, 9:30. There's a long opportunity right here that would have been a break even had you gotten into it. Another one right here. Looks like it probably would have been a break even had you gotten into it. Another one right here. Another break even. I missed all of them. I don't know what I was doing, but I did get this one over here, and that was a break even. And then, let's see. During the break, there was a shorting opportunity right here for a little bit of profit. And over here, a bounce off the BBC, which is happening right now. That is a valid long trade right in there. Okay, so we'll see how that works out. 280. All right. We ended up break even on gold and break even on the euro this morning. Okay, and on the crude, we did not do anything with the crude this morning. All right, you see we were looking at it, but started out right here, didn't give us any trade setups, came in over here, did not break dynamic resistance, cycle's going down too steep for the long off the BBC, then it comes in here. You see I was drawing this triangle and I kept expanding the triangle as it continued to chop. Finally broke out of it, but didn't give us a trade setup. Then it just collapsed off the high of the day, down here. I guess it did give a trade setup right there, and yeah, that would not have worked out. If you had gotten in that, that would not have worked out. Let me highlight it. Okay. Then it went right back up through the BBC and right back down through the BBC. This was during the break. This would have been a valid bounce off the BBC right here. Again, it did not work out. And that's it. Okay, so Crude was just a mess. Just a mess today. Now, the Russell is where we missed the opportunities today. Okay, we had one tick here and one tick over here is what we actually did get. But what we missed, well, let's scroll way back. Okay, so you see it was volatile in pre-market too. And then it started going. We missed this first one right here. Changed directions, came up here. There was a long trade right there that we missed. And then I hear Dwayne is in. There was a momentum long trade right there. Another one there, another one there, another one there. Then we just dropped right through the BBC. Came back up, bounced off it. A short opportunity there. And over here, nothing. Right here, if it actually hit the BBC, that would have been a shorting opportunity there, probably a break even. Right in here, no, we couldn't have done anything with that or that. Probably could have taken a short right there and another one right there and there and along there. Another long there, another long there. Why did I miss all those? Was it moving really fast? It must have been moving really fast. Then I finally got into +1 there and a +1 there. And then we get into the break. Okay, and you see how it's just whipping back and forth across the BBC? So that's going to throw the cycle off as well as the MA1. And right in here, there was just nothing. It was just choppy. So there was a lot of volatility in the Russell, and I should definitely have gotten my goal for the day in the Russell today, but I did not. All right, and the ES, let's see, on this ES. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so the ES started out completely choppy, and pretty much stayed that way all day. Right. Yeah. If I were to draw a trend line, we'd have a shorting opportunity right there. And that would have been a break even on the ES. Okay, so there was really no range to the ES until the last half hour or so. Alright, so back here. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page here where it says sign up for the CFRN Live Training Room. 100% free trials, user indicators on our strategy. Click here. You click there, and you'll be brought to this page where all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Hit the submit button. Once you hit the submit button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on that confirmation link. Okay? Once you click on the confirmation link, then we know you took the trial. And in the room this morning, we made 2 ticks on the Russell. $10. Okay, we didn't get the goal for the day. We ended positive, but did not get the goal for the day. So that gives us a yellow day. Took 4 trades this morning. On the month now, we're at 401.25. That's over 3 days, averaging 133 per day. On the year, we are at 31,270. That's over 227 days, averaging 137 per day. Okay. Now, again, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. All right. And that Euro trade that I pointed out a little while ago, wherever it was, here it is. Stop to break even on that. Okay. It was 280 is where it was, right there. Stop to break even, stop to +4, 6, stop to +6. And let's see if it's going to go any further. What do we need? We need 14 to reach the goal for the day. So we're at 6 now. And crude is going up, gold is going up, the ES is going down, and the Russell's about to set up for a short trade. But we'll let this play out. I can hear Dwayne is there, but sounds like he's still getting stuff organized. And we could lock in 8 right here, but I'd really like to see the whole 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's got to get up there. And that would be my goal for the day. But you see how we have a spread over where my stop is right here? So I'm probably going to get taken out at break even right there. Not break even, at +6 right here.
I'm here, buddy, just so you know.
Okay. Yep. I hear you. I'm just about done. I got this.
Oh, no rush. Take your time.
Okay. I got this one thing going right here. And I want to see if it's going to hit this up here, which would be the goal for the day, or take me out right here. And then I'll be halfway to the goal for the day.
Yeah.
A little better than halfway.
Okay. I'm thinking, I think what happened is what happened before. The radio server is actually running Windows 10. And that one you really have to be, you have to do the updates. And I think it went in, every time it does updates, it disables something on the sound card. Now, our streaming guy, who's been with us since the beginning, 2005, he helped me reset it all last time, so I guess this afternoon we'll go through, and with any luck he'll remember what it was that got flaked out. What's interesting is as I talk I can see the meter move, as you talk I can see the meter move, but as the intro music was playing the meter didn't move. Did anybody hear intro music?
I did not.
Okay. Anybody in the audience? Because...
Okay. There is the 6 ticks. Alright. Guys, with that, I'm going to pass it back out to Studio A in fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park.
I also have a pop-up on that screen on that computer that says the trial members meeting is scheduled to start Tuesday, December 5th at 10:15 a.m. U.S. Mountain Standard Time.
That is true. I am going to have a meeting in 45 minutes.
But it's 10:24 Mountain Standard Time right now.
Right now, but the meeting is scheduled for 10:15 Mountain Standard Time.
Well, I'm just saying it's already 10:24. See, I think you want it to be to be 11:15 Eastern, right?
No, 1:15 Eastern.
I mean 1:15 Eastern. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Now we're both going crazy. Let me refresh my page. I've never had your pop-up show up on my window like that. You know, when I go into, you used to go to meeting, right?
Yes. Yeah, I always go to meeting for the Tuesday sessions.
Double check. It's just unusual that it popped up over there, but I'm sure somebody somewhere's got a perfectly good explanation. Where was that we talked about in the training room that they now accept Bitcoin for parking tickets? Was it South Africa?
Somewhere in Africa, yeah. You had said somewhere in Africa.
I think. Yeah. Okay. Here's what I'm showing is that 10:15 my time, which has already passed, you have a trial members meeting starting. So I think, Michael, you need to go in and change that time.
Okay.
Because it should say, on my computer, it should say 11:15 Mountain Standard Time. Because I used to, part of the year I'm on Pacific time and I'm 3 hours away, but right now I'm only 2 hours away from the East Coast.
Yeah, you know what? The time is wrong. Okay, I'll go change that. Okay, you want the charts? I don't know. You got to take them.
Then I will take the screens.
Yeah. Okay. I do see that something needs to be changed. It's actually off by an hour on mine. So I will go in and edit. It says 10:15 Arizona. But I know I chose Eastern.
Well, sometimes they do that just to mess with you.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to save it. Okay, well, the link is still the same. So.
All right, with any luck, my charts will pop up.
Yep, they just did. They just did.
So yellow, recap of the recap's a yellow day, right?
It was a yellow day, yep.
That happens.
It was.
That's the truth about trading, folks.
It is. It is.
Alrighty. Well, this gap opened from Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday. So we closed the gap yesterday afternoon, right there. On, I guess it would be this candle. So, all right, Mike, break a leg. Have a great meeting. If you need me, I'll be here. Gone like the wind. Let's see. Bob says reconfigure sounds and control panel after those updates, D. Yeah, I'll go over the whole thing and we'll hunt it down. Whatever the ghost is in the machine, we're on it. Okie doke. Boy, what a discombobulation. I think John's coming in right about now. Let me look. Yeah, he'll be in a moment. You know what? Let's do this just real quick. I've already showed you the gap higher open Sunday night. Come on. These are, of course, last week's zones. Got higher on the open and then got really quiet. Kind of double topped right here on this 30-minute chart. Nose dived yesterday and now trying to pull out of it. Leg, retrace. Leg, failed to put in a higher high, failed to put in a lower low. You know you're in chop. Higher high. Oh yeah. Give me a pullback. Right about here. Yeah. So if we can get a green candle after this 30-minute candle finishes, we got a shot at another leg up. Now, some of you are probably wondering or thinking, dadgummit, wish I was a partner so I knew what the next zone was overhead for this week. Yep. Cards and letters, cards and letters. Yeah, I could tell you. I could. I'm gonna. Here's the deal, Neil. Except nobody's really named Neil. No, we do have a partner named Neil. That's right. Where does stuff like that come from? Yeah, I'm not going to put it on the chart, but I'm going to tell you because you're here, and because you're special, because I love you. Okay? 2657 slash 2658. So if I had the zone painted in, what you'd be seeing is you would see this is just an overshoot of that 2657 slash 58. That's what this is. This is just an overshoot. And then we came back down and the zone was 32.33. We missed it by, what's the low here? 33.75. Missed it by 3 ticks. Okay. I said all that and did all that just to show you guys the power of the zones. Every time I make the statement, some of the partners just trade zone to zone. I get swamped with emails and mentoring sessions, and I want to trade zone to zone. Teach me how to trade zone to zone. Well, I'll do my very best. You got to kind of observe it a while like we have. But when price runs up to a zone, can't break away from it to go to the next zone overhead, then there's an extremely high probability it's going to fold and go back to the zone below. Why? Well, it's got to go somewhere. Oh, it can't go sideways? Sure, for a while, but not forever. Right? All right. Okay, I would like at this time to take a look at the various markets around the world. and share those numbers with you. Just kind of see where everything stands. These are the cash markets, and we will start here at home in the US. Okay. All right. The Dow is currently down 35 points. That's cash market. NASDAQ is up 35. S&P 500 is up 2.5. Russell 2000 is down almost 5 points. So, no, well, the NASDAQ, that's actually a 35-point move up, is actually a little over 0.5%. So that's the only mover and shaker. Everything else is just quiet. And the yellow day from the live trading room really speaks to that. In the commodity basket, crude oil up 28 cents, 0.5%, trading 57.75 last. In gold, down $10.39, almost 1%, trading 12.6730. All right, I'm going to take a real quick pause right there and show you this. Now, this is last week, okay? Not to be confused with, well, this week. It just so happens that 67/68 was the zone last week, and it is also a zone again this week. So price beginning, see how we rode the zone all night long from yesterday afternoon till early this morning. I mean, gold barely budged. And then as we started to get into the pre-market Wall Street open, where did we go? We went from zone down to the zone. In fact, it's just dawning on me. No. 77.78 is not a zone this week, but this 67.68 is. Okay. All right, let's just get through the numbers. Got myself sidetracked there. Okay, we covered the U.S. markets, which are mixed. Let's go to the Asian markets, where at the bell, the Nikkei, they probably don't even have a bell. They probably got like a gong or something. The Nikkei closed down 84 points. Shanghai was down 6.5 at the close. The Hang Seng down 295 points at the close. That's a little over 1%. In the European markets, the FTSE closed the session down 11.5 points. DAX was down 10, and the CAC was down 13. No movers, no shakers, quiet sideways trade. Now, don't anybody throw holiday trade at me, because it's too early for that. Santa Claus rally, too early for that. It's Tuesday. How about that? By the way, The Prophet is back on TV tonight. New episodes, a brand new episode tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. Don't know if you've ever watched The Prophet. That's Profit. He's an interesting guy. He got a sack of money, and he just goes around America finding small businesses that have a good business model, but people don't know how to run it. And so he comes in and buys a stake and helps them turn their business around. It's a pretty interesting show if you've never watched it. Now, those two old coots out in East Texas, West Texas, at the West Texas Investment Club, it's kind of like Shark Tank, but they did it in a barn. Yeah, I know. But anyway, these are real guys that made real money, and they help people. I thought the first season, I kind of liked it, but I've seen no indication that there's a season 2 coming back. So, time will tell. But the thing is, on Stars that show Billions, which was incredible, 2 seasons, they had a really hard time making up their mind if they were going to do a season 3. What are these people thinking about? Of course you're going to do a season 3. How could you not do a season 3? Okay, let me get logged in here. We can talk about Concierge Trade Alerts. Ah, John is here. Oh, but it says he's offline. Yeah, he says definitely offline. Okay. Bob Z says Billions is awesome. Well, I got to tell you, Bob, the first episode of the first season, the first 5 minutes was so far out there, I almost shut it down, and that would have been a shame, because while it was shocking, and I would never want my mother or my brother or my daughter or my son or anyone I hold dear to see that opening scene, I'm glad I was too lazy to pick up the remote, because after that it became truly a fascinating story of a hedge fund. So, and there's so much minute detail in there. It's got to be, it doesn't say this, but it has to be based on some real hedge fund story in some way, somehow. So, anyway, it may or may not be for you. It's on the Stars Network. It's called Billions. It's all about stock markets and making money and all that. Okay. Let us breeze over here to some headlines. See what's happening there. John Conyers announces early retirement amid bevy of sexual harassment allegations. I guess most people are just going to say good riddance. You know, of all the people who've been accused, I think, is he not the, or perhaps he's the only one who said and stuck by it, I didn't do it. Now, Bill Clinton, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. God, that drug on for so long. It was just mind-numbing. And, you know, I'm just, stop. Disney is reportedly nearing a deal to buy 21st Century Fox's TV business. Now, what all does that include? Big changes could be on the horizon. I mean, there's only one fair and balanced channel out there. Disney and 21st Century Fox are closing in on a deal that could come as quickly as next week, according to CNBC. Transaction would involve Disney acquiring Fox's studio and television production assets, a portion of the business that has an enterprise value of more than $600 billion. The package sought by Disney reportedly include Fox's A&E and Star TV networks, as well as its regional sports operation, movie studios, and stakes in Sky and Hulu, among other assets. As proposed, the deal would leave Fox with its news and sports assets. What about Fox Business? It doesn't mention that. This latest development comes amid considerable interest for Fox from the likes of Comcast and Verizon. The Wall Street Journal and CNBC reported in November that both had approached Fox about buying at least part of the company, which, combined with Disney's interest, was expected to spur a bidding war. Should Disney prevail, it will have to contend with rating declines across many large cable networks as more consumers opt for cheaper and more customizable web-based services. Interesting. Now, if we could turn back the hands of time, what would they be accusing Walt Disney of today? I can only imagine. And I really don't want to imagine. Mike Pence and Reince Priebus reportedly planned a coup to replace Trump after the Access Hollywood tape. The fight over the Republican tax plan still isn't over. Boy. Big headlines. When's the next Fed meeting? I think John asked yesterday if it was the 15th. Looks like John's having a hard time getting logged on. Oh, it's okay. We'll get through this together. Once I can get all my notes pulled up. I may just go get a new computer. Well, I may try to track down the guy that built this one. And just tell him to duplicate it. It's not actually my main box as much as it is the radio server. I should replace that too. Okay. We've been streaming 24/7 since 2005, April 2005. Okay, a big win for Trump here. We don't get to say that very often, but the Supreme Court reinstates Trump's travel ban. The Supreme Court yesterday fully, 100% reinstated the third version of President Trump's travel ban, while legal challenges moved through the courts, giving Trump a victory. Man, he needs a victory. Or he's had many victories, but one that the press will actually admit. And I'm sure that some channels don't appreciate it at all. Giving Trump a victory after mixed success, fighting challenges to earlier versions over the summer. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld its lower court ruling against Trump's restriction on travel by people from 6 Muslim-majority nations, Iran, Libya, Syria, Yemen, Somalia, and Chad, unless they had a legitimate relationship with an individual or organization in the U.S. The American Civil Liberties Union, representing groups challenging the order, said it was simply a disguised reworking of the first 2 bans. Solicitor General Noel Francisco said Trump merely exercised his broad powers to control immigration. You know, that's one thing I want to say for Trump. You know, there's a lot of things that, because he's the president, he can just do, and nobody can undo. But we haven't really seen him take that path. He has, as best Trump can, because Trump's a man who colors outside of the lines. Okay, I don't even know if he sees the lines. But when it comes to things like this, he really has worked hard to do the right thing. I believe that with all my heart. Okay, next, the ex-Yemen president has been killed by rebels after changing sides. President Trump announced yesterday he will reduce the size of Utah's Bears Ears National Monument by roughly 84%. Wow, that's huge. And Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument by nearly half. The pair of moves amounts to what environmental advocates call the largest ever rollback of protected land. Former President Bill Clinton designated the Grand Staircase Escalante in 1996, while Bears Ears was designated by Barack Obama in 2016, after indigenous peoples fought for its recognition. Trump's decision to shrink the monument is expected to trigger a legal fight by the 5 tribes who originally lobbied the Obama administration. That would be the Navajo, the Ute, the Pueblo of Zuni, Ute Mountain, Ute Tribe, and the Hopi. We have Hopi and Navajo here in Arizona. Indigenous. Manafort under house arrest. Documents filed by Special Counselor Robert Mueller yesterday say that last week, President Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, was found to be working with an op-ed with a Russian colleague tied to a Russian intelligence service. Manafort was apparently a ghostwriter on the op-ed, which detailed his work with Ukrainian politicians, and it's not clear where he planned to publish it. The special counsel's brief said by drafting this op-ed, Manafort showed he was ready to violate or circumvent the court's order banning statements to the press. Manafort was indicted in November for failing to register as a foreign agent and money laundering, and now lying to the FBI. A federal judge in Florida has sentenced former Democratic Representative Corrine Brown to 5 years in federal prison for her conviction on corruption charges. Defense attorney James Smith, who argued Brown should get probation, said she would appeal the decision. Brown is 71 years old. She was found guilty in May of raising $800,000 with a scam charity and spending the donations on personal expenses. Her longtime chief of staff, Ronnie Simmons, received a 48-month sentence, and the founder of the One Door for Education charity, Carla Wiley, got 21 months. U.S. District Judge Timothy Corrigan told Brown the outpouring of support she received was attributed to all the work you've done over the years. That's what makes this all the more tragic, to the tune of $800,000. A wildfire exploded last night in Ventura County in Southern California, quickly spreading across thousands of acres, driven by winds as high as 60 miles per hour and fueled by dry vegetation. The blaze started in the foothills near Thomas Aquinas. Aquinas. Say it however you want. College in Santa Paula, a popular hiking destination, and pushed southwest toward the cities of Santa Paula and Ventura, forcing people to evacuate. One person was killed in a traffic accident on a road closed due to the fire. Flames burned down power lines, knocking out electricity to more than 260,000 customers in Ventura and Santa Barbara counties. Wow. Whoa, big news. Netflix confirmed yesterday it would resume production of House of Cards in early 2018 and complete an 8-episode, 6th and final season. Without star Kevin Spacey, who was sidelined after several men accused him of sexual assault and harassment, we're excited to bring closure to fans. They shut down production in November after the allegations surfaced against Spacey. Underwood is in the show. The final season, which originally was to include 13 episodes, will star Robin Wright, who plays Spacey's equally devious wife, Claire Underwood. And if you're going to talk about TV, I just got to tell you, okay, there probably is no better television program on right now than This Is Us. Now, if you don't know what it is, you should go to season 1, episode 1, so you can get the full character development. I thought it was just, some little show, and, I just kind of fancied it. And then all of a sudden I realized it's like everyone in America's favorite show. So, anyway, it is quite good. And it is family entertainment. Your kids can sit there with you. There's kids in the show. But the way they play time with flashbacks into the present, and they don't make TV like that anymore. Oh, wait. Yes, they do. Huh. Get it? All right. See if there's anything in tech, and then we'll rip through Concierge Trade Alerts. What happened to John? Now he's completely offline. Huh. Maybe he needs a new computer too. I just want to find my tech. There we go. Now we're cooking. Alan, you say the email I got to log in didn't work. Had to go to website. Alan, Alan, are you talking about the email that came from GoToWebinar? Or was it an email you got from us directly? See, once you sign up for like the radio show for the month, then the daily reminder that we tell you it's time to re-register for the radio show. And then once you register, then it becomes their responsibility to send you that reminder each and every day. The email I got to log in didn't work. Maybe John is having the same problem. Boy, I'm going to have to get a hold of them this afternoon and see what they messed up. Well, he got on yesterday, okay. Apple's going to put up $15.4 billion that the EU says it owes Ireland in back taxes into a special holding fund. Ireland's finance minister said he expects the iPhone maker to start paying the money into an escrow account in the first quarter of 2018. 15, B as in boy, $billion. Michael Dell of Dell Computer doesn't buy the hype about killer artificial intelligence and tech dystopias. He expects technology in general will yield tremendously positive outcomes for humans over the next 30 years. Now, we've talked a lot about Elon Musk. He was trapped in traffic one day. He got extremely bored, and he decided that people shouldn't have to sit in traffic jams in Los Angeles if somebody would just bore a hole under the ground, i.e. a tunnel, and voila, no more traffic jam. So most people would have went home, told their wife about their great idea, and forgot about it. No, not Elon. He actually formed a company called Boring Company. It's a play on words. Which was founded to create the tunnels for an underground transportation system in Los Angeles, and has released a map illustrating a proposed network for the tunnels. The Boring Company was inspired by Musk's frustrations with LA's notoriously congested traffic. Ethereum's blockchain is jamming up because of a new game called Crypto Kitties that lets people buy virtual cats. Now, you know, I'm not a big cat person, but I can tolerate them. I mean, I got nothing against them. It's just the cat videos and, you know, all the other, you know, I don't know. Everyone has their preferences. I'm not a real big dog person, but if I had to pick one, I guess I'd pick the dog. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Why would somebody want to buy a virtual cat? The online cat breeding game, which has been likened to both Beanie Babies and Pokemon, has taken the crypto world by storm. Well, they need to get off our Ethereum blockchain and then go get your own blockchain, pal. Pally Wally. Okay. Apple fixed the iPhone calculator bug that said the answer to 1 + 2 + 3 was 24. The problem was that the calculator app responded to the second plus slowly, so it was totaling 1 + 23. The CEOs of Apple and Google spoke at a conference that critics say make them complicit actors in the Chinese censorship regime. China's World Internet Conference is a gathering the Chinese government reportedly used to promote its strategy of tightly controlling what's available online in the country. And I'm sure you've all heard, read, seen, whatever. Remember when Bitcoin took that nosedive to 3,000? Because Chinese were like, oh, we're outlawing it, you know. Why did they outlaw it? Oh, you don't know? Because they're coming out with a government cryptocurrency. I wish them well. Tech giants are fighting to hire the best AI talent at the NIPS conference in LA this week. Google, Amazon, Apple, DeepMind, Intel, Facebook, and IBM are all there, among others. And I got to tell you guys, artificial intelligence is coming at you at 100 miles an hour. They say in Arizona, I believe, by the end of 2018, if you run to the store, you will see an autonomous vehicle on your journey. Oracle is opening a charter school, the controversial kind of school that is publicly funded but privately run, at its headquarters in January, according to the New York Times. It was the first ever public school to live on a corporate campus in Silicon Valley. Wow. Imagine you're a kid and you get to go to a charter school ran by Oracle. Alright, this is the end of the tech news. Apple declared the 2011 Mac Mini obsolete. It means Apple and authorized repair centers will no longer be able to repair the tiny Mac desktop. Huh. Oh, what do you know? Alright, let's take a look at Bitcoin, see what's going on. We'll look at a chart. Now, keep in mind, on the 18th, the CME releases their Bitcoin futures contract. I just heard this morning that the Chicago Board of Options is also going to come out with a futures contract. The NASDAQ, second quarter next year, they're going to come out with a futures contract on Bitcoin. I fear we're going to spread this a little too thin. Those of you that have been trading futures for a while know that there's a bunch of futures contracts like micro gold and mini gold, and no, they never took off. The S&P 500 got so expensive that traders on the floor back in the day couldn't afford to buy it anymore. And so they cut it in fifths so that the price would be 1/5 and traders could again, and I don't have to go through the whole story, but as you know, it has become the single most liquid and well traded contract around the clock in the futures market. So with Bitcoin, the fact that 3 big names, CME, Chicago Board of Options, and the NASDAQ, who doesn't even do futures contracts, all want to get a futures contract out on this thing. I was really excited about CME, and I thought Chicago Board of Options was just going to do options. Now it seems like there's going to be too many challenges. So if you spread some people over here and some people over here, I don't know. I think they should rethink this thing. Mike asks, can you look at gold 1 hour chart? I will. Often I see 2 hammer candles pointing at each other. Just consolidation, figured it would be at a zone. How would you trade a move on it? I'd be happy to look at that for you. Let's go there. Oh, we already are there. Okay. All right. So this is a 30-minute chart. And if we want to make it an hourly chart, we just go 1 hour. And then on this computer, you wait about an hour. And there it is. Now, tell me specifically, Mike, which candles you're looking at. Did I put these zones up yesterday? No, I didn't, did I? 88, 89, 83, 84, 77, 78, 67, 68. I did give you guys the... No, I didn't. That's last week. Oh, it's still Monday. I swanny. We still have a zone below 67.68. That would be down at 49.50. The next zone overhead is 72.73. Boy, we went through that like a hot knife through butter. Above that is 83.84, which is a holdover from last week. And 90.91, 98.99, and then 13.11/12. But back to your question. The last two full hourly candles. Okay. That would be this one and this one. This one and this one, Mike. Okay. Here's what I see. Price went from zone to zone. That is last week's zone, but that's just the carryover effect, and today's only Tuesday. So we hit this zone that was the same last week as this week. Okay. Price spiked it. There was a lot of downward momentum. This wick right here, that just speaks volumes to me. Okay. Because when this candle opened, this candle closed, opened here, ran up, touched that zone, got rejected, and slammed it way down here to 1263. It's a $400 move per contract. But then buyers came in, and before the hourly candle could close, they ran that baby back up. Now, this was a full green candle up into the zone, till it wasn't. Now we have a red candle building on the lower side. So I can see where your consternation might come from. Now, since this week's zone is also 67.68, here's what I would do. I would go long at 1270. The caveat being the zone overhead is 72.73. So you don't have a lot of room to run, so to speak. I'm sorry. Too many pieces of paper on my desk. 67.68, 72.73. So yeah, 70 to 72 would probably be a good trade, but you're going to get 2 points away from that zone. Okay, so it doesn't get just sucked right back in. Now, this normally we would look to go 2 points below this, 1267, sell 1265. If we're going to sell 1265, we want to get our stop, you know, right up above this last weekly trading zone. And in order to do that, you might have to exceed what we typically use on Concierge Trade Alerts or discretionary trading. So right now, Mike, I would do nothing. I would wait for this thing to show its hand. Okay? I want to see a candle close below. See, now this candle ran all the way down, ran all the way back up, and closed right here. So I would want to see this candle close below it, and then I would be willing to get short and trail a tight stop. The problem with just using the 2-point rule, shorting 65, it doesn't quite get you to 63. Which would be $200 per contract, but it does give you $100 per contract. You know, in fact, if this red candle starts to come down and take out the low of this candle, you might just ride it. Now, does that make sense to you? Did I clarify it or confuse it? You tell me and I'll try to fix it. I did? Okay. Yeah, right now I got to set on my hands because overhead is resistance. This zone is good resistance until it isn't. Okay? Price came down, pulled back up into the zone to confirm that it's going to be good resistance. So far it has been. So you can't do 66. Nope. You know, you might put in a bracket order 65 to 63. Try your stop. Try to get some more out of it. At this point, it definitely looks like it wants to move to the downside. Now, let me check and see if I got an email from John. No, he must have just got tied up. That's okay. All right. So you're good on the gold, Mike. Let's go take a look at the alerts from last night. Now, I know there was a typo on the gold. I saw that this morning. A couple people emailed me. I appreciate you emailing me. I don't know what time the emails were sent, but I was looking at email and charts late, and I didn't see it, or I would have probably sent it back out. Let's go to the ES. On the S&P, we said last night to consider buying 2644. Let me hold 1 second. This seems to be John. Oh, because there's John. Hey, John, welcome to the show.
Hi there. Sorry about today. I tried to come
that's
on
okay.
earlier.
Yeah, I saw you come on, and then I saw you go, and it said offline, and I just figured you were having computer problems.
You're right. You know, normally when you have Google open, the Chrome or something, it shows a little thing as to where the source of some kind of a recording is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, when I tuned in, I was getting a conflicting sound of recording that I couldn't find anywhere. And so I had to reboot to try and get rid of it.
Mm.
It might come on again, you know, because it's kind of like a rogue recording that I'd never heard before.
Well, here's what happened to me. I guess there was a Windows update for Windows 10, and every time that happens, it kills my sound card on the radio server. And so this afternoon, because like yesterday when the show came on, I couldn't play the intro, and I couldn't play it again today. I thought I fixed it last night. Apparently not. So anyway, so how's your day?
Well, it's actually been going pretty well. Yesterday afternoon we got into the VIXs, specifically the VXX at around 3170, around there. No, sorry, we got in 10 points off the low. The low was 3115, and we got in 3125, I think, yeah. And it ran up to 3270 or somewhere, so 3290 this morning or last night, and then it actually tested it this morning, and we got out reasonably close to the highs, and then it came all the way down to we got back in around 3170, 3165 actually got back in, and right now it's at 3220. We've been chopped in and out a few times, but we've had a couple of good trades since. You know, in the just clipping 5 or 10 or 20 points each time. So the big surprise this morning was the weakness, you know, the initial strength in the Dow overnight, and actually put out an alert at around an hour and a half before the open, and I actually said a couple of hours before the open we might open green, and then the Nasdaq came up and cut its losses from about down 40 up to plus 10 or 20, and then had a bit of a pullback into the opening. But meanwhile, the Dow went from being plus 50 or so to negative.
Yeah.
And now we're down. Now we're down 48 at the moment. So what's going on here is very tricky, because it's a could be a pretty big trap. Now the Nasdaq has a kind of a potentially bullish three-wave pullback, and the surge this morning was certainly impressive because it went up about 60 or 70 points, plus, and then it got up to 63. I think we put a sell in at 39. Came all the way down to where it is right now, but just about to go positive. I think we're going to get a bounce here into the afternoon. However, how far we go with this bounce today is I'm not so sure the market can recover very much. And we've had a kind of a rally in the morning. If we start having the sell-off in the afternoon, I would consider that to be a bad development. And what we got to watch for now is tomorrow, either we open higher and we sell off, or we may just sell off overnight and go lower, possibly into the end of the week and maybe even into next week, in a much more sort of a prolonged correction ahead of the and I think we'll come down to a level wherever that may be, and then I think the final tax thing will be passed, and that will probably create a rally into the end of the year.
Can you see my chart? Are you able to see my chart?
Yeah, again. Yeah.
This is the gap open Sunday night, and we just closed that this morning.
Interesting. Yeah, I see that.
I'm not a big, the gap's got to close kind of guy, but I know that so many people are that it almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, well, the key thing is it going to hold here or is it going to break down? That's the point. And
if it breaks down, our weekly trading zone right below where we are now is 24. Where are we at? We're at 240. 240. Yeah, our next zone is way down at 155/160. So if it falls, if
it falls, it's going to be devastating, because the problem with the Nasdaq is if we negate this kind of a zigzag bullish pullback. So that's why I think this surge this morning was a bit of a suck-in move, possibly, and look, Nvidia also had a big rally, and we actually caught most of that. It actually went down a bit further than I thought. It kind of snapped down on the open, got down to 181 and 180 and a half. we caught it at 185 right up to the highs, and then we sold it at 191, and it's about 189 right now. So the other stocks are rolling over mostly. These the Apples and Google, the Fangs and everything. So and even the financials are giving up quite a bit as well the transports. So this is kind of a dangerous dangerous situation for a fairly sharp sell-off that could unfold this afternoon or overnight going into tomorrow. But I think if the market is down tomorrow, then this sell-off is taking on a more pronounced kind of a form. And we if you look at the various charts on the daily, the market's put in. I mean, is that the S&P right there? What are you looking at there now? Oh, that's the gold.
Mike asked me to bring this up. This is a daily chart of gold. The new contract. And that seems like ages ago, I drew this bar here and this bar here when price was right here, and I said, guys, we're going to trade in this range until we can take out this high or this low. And those are daily candles. So now we've come to the bottom of this price channel. Okay, top to the bottom to the top, and finally today we made it to the bottom. So this, if we fall through this trend line, I mean, this thing goes way back. It could get ugly. If it holds,
yeah, you're right.
If it holds, then we're back to the same thing. We're still trapped inside of this range right here. And if you go back to here, when we first got into this range, that was September 27th. So from September 27th to today, we've been trapped in a range between 12.99 and 12.6. We're at about a $30 range, give or take. So what are your thoughts?
Well, it might hold. You know, it might hold. if we stage a reversal later today, like if the market does show signs of selling off, I think it'll lift the gold and maybe the silver as well. And the dust is, you know, if remember, we got long the dust at 25, and we actually sold it at 29, and it ran up a little bit more. It's at about 29 and 0.3 right now. I'd probably buy it back, because you got to watch this dust really carefully when we have a big day like today. It could turn positive in the afternoon, and obviously that wouldn't be good for gold if that happens. But right now it's taking on a little bit of a sellish kind of look to it. And if we were to break down, you know, if we give back more than half of the day's gains on the dust, then that could mean the highs might be in, and it could mean the lows are in on the gold. So
Mike asked if you would look at this now. I'm putting it on the weekly chart. Okay, I left the trend lines, the squares I drew, everything's the same, except we're looking at weekly instead of daily.
Well, actually, I think
actually, this bottom trend line is not. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not right.
What's your gal's name on the Bert and
Bert
Leslie? Yeah, she's sort of said a long time ago that 1240 was an important number.
Yeah, I can see that across here on this weekly chart. It really is. Looks like 1220 to 1240 is an important area. So.
Yep. So, you know, we could potentially come down even to 1220 and stage a liftoff from there. And it might be, you know, maybe we're sort of selling off into this fear Fed raise, and when they actually do it, we might have the opposite effect. So now the Nasdaq looks like it's starting to turn here, and the VIXs are starting to come off. So you know, that could change everything, because if the S&P turns up from here, that would be actually pretty big positive, I think. So not so good for gold potentially if the market does rally.
Yeah, okay, from this low to this high on the weekly, we're at a 62% retracement. If we run it the other way and go from the high to the low, I guess today's actually the new low. Oh, come back. Let's try that again. Okay, so here's our journey to turn this thing around. Reverse fibs from the high to the low. We got to get through here, 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 here. That's a lot of obstacles. And then we got clear skies all the way up to 1360 potentially. But that means this thing's got to hold. So
yeah,
soybeans finally made a move. Look at that.
Yeah, no, I got that yesterday. Actually, we put up. It was a bit tricky this morning. We put a buy just at 10, I think 1,000. At 1,000, we put a buy 1,000.
Yeah, we said last night in our email to buy 1003 if you had the chance. So that did actually work out a-okay. The swing high was 1015. Yeah. So is that right? 1015. Yeah, and so that's 12 points at $50 a point per contract. So it's the first time soybeans have given us something really delightful. So I'm happy to see that. The sell side didn't trigger. Oh, I forgot to give you guys this here. If you want to take a screenshot of last night's alerts. Now, those of you who sign up for the trial, for the Concierge Trade Alerts, you got to go to emini.cfrn.net. You got to click the link right above the baseball player. All right? Don't use any other link except that one. Costs you $1, but there's no automatic rollover into a paid subscription. Once you take the trial, then you have to request the subscription. Now, here's the thing. Make sure you email me, support@cfrn.net. Tell me you just signed up for the trial so that I can rush you out the 2 training videos that will enable you to navigate the trade alerts. Okay? All right. Hey, you mentioned the NASDAQ earlier. Let's take a look at that. Okay. Last night we wanted to buy 62.80 if we could. And it looks like that worked out quite well. It ran up to 63.39. So that's 59 points. Yeah. At $20 per point, that's almost $1,200, guys. 59. Now that's what the market made available. Keep in mind, with our Concierge Trade Alerts, you never get out at the swing high or swing low because you trail or stop. And as long as you trail your stop, you're always going to leave a little something on the table. And if that makes you nauseous, well, you just get some of that. What are those pills they give you, John, when you go out to sea and people get seasick?
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Sure. The other thing that's going on today is that the energy is pretty strong, probably because of the cold weather. All three of the natural gas is off, but I'd put a buy stop 29.10 on the natural gas because I think at some point the natural gas will take off again. The products are coming off a little bit off the highs right now, but I think they kind of look set for the day. But there's then the risk of the API report coming out this afternoon, which might be a bit of a surprise. So if you want to take profits, we put out a buy this morning on the energy, and it's been a good day so far.
Do you think it's surprise to the upside, downside, or just the surprise?
It could go higher again. You know, I mean, obviously, if there's a deficit, you know, or a drawdown on any of the products, it's probably going to push prices higher. But this looks like a fairly cold snap that's coming in right now. So that could help a lot too.
South Africa.
Listen, the dust.
Go ahead.
The dust have turned positive again, and I think they're going to go to new highs on the day, possibly take out 30 on the dust. And the gold stocks are unfortunately taking a bit of a breather here. But you know, in a way, the way they've come down, when they reverse upwards, it'll probably be the real deal this time. So, but it's kind of odd that silver is not performing better, because the copper too, you know, given the tax cut and everything and the potential for growth, you'd think that the silver would be, because it's an industrial metal, would be performing, but it's quite weak and has kind of led the gold down. So we are back in a phase where we're going to be testing the low end of the range on these things probably.
Dramamine was Fred's answer to
Dramamine. That's right. Dramamine. Yeah.
Mike says that John, palladium seems to be consolidating at 17/18. And Bruce asked if you have anything on natural gas.
Yeah, I think natural gas, you know, is remember when it starts getting cold, the drawdown on natural gas can be dramatic, and it's already started. So if we, in fact, let's take a quick gander at it.
Here's a
because,
30-minute chart right here.
Yeah, just a second. Yeah, it's probably got a ways more. It might go down a bit more still towards 2850, possibly. But let's just take a quick look at the last drawdown because I didn't look at it last week.
And then, did you answer Mike's question on palladium, on platinum? I might have said palladium. He said
no, you
platinum.
said, right, 917. Well, the platinum's holding up better than the gold. That's about the only positive thing going on today. You know, it hasn't broken down below the gold, so that would be quite an important thing to look for if the platinum can hold in here. Just a second here.
South Africa announced today that they will now accept Bitcoin for payment of traffic fines.
How about that?
I mean, these little
actually,
things are just popping up, cropping up everywhere. I think we hit a new all-time high today. Did we not?
Last time I looked, we were close to it.
As you know, I'm in the process of sorting out weekly trading zones because these futures. Now I heard some disturbing news this morning. We already knew that the CME was coming out with a Bitcoin futures contract, right? Very excited, stamp of approval. You know, anybody that wants to trade Bitcoin, they'll come, they'll take advantage of margins. It's regulated. It's going to be beautiful. Well, now the Chicago Board of Options has announced that they're going to come out with a Bitcoin futures contract 1/5 the size. So instead of being 5 coins, it'll be 1 coin. And then
it's going to be like a mini
yeah, but
Bitcoin.
most of that mini stuff never took off. The S&P E-mini took off, the Dow to a degree, the Russell to a degree, but like those micro goals and all that other kind of stuff, nobody trades that stuff. The spreads are horrendous, can't get filled. Anyway, I don't want to see them take this incredible opportunity and destroy it by spreading it too thin. And then in the second quarter of next year, NASDAQ, of all people, is coming out with a Bitcoin futures contract. So it just seems like, you know, a bit much. I mean, traders are going to be cautious in the beginning anyway. So I don't know. I don't know.
Right now, the Bitcoin kind of looks like it might do a little test around the. Could even test that 10,500 again. If it breaks down a bit more here, it'll kind of break a little bit of a trend.
Our weekly trading zone overhead is 11,970/975.
Yeah.
And the zone below is 10,635/640.
Well, there you go. It could trade right in between those two ranges, and I'd say breaking out on the top end would be bullish, and obviously breaking out the bottom end would be a pretty bad development. So, just on the natural gas, look, I would definitely put buy stops above the market on the natural gas because last week's drawdown was 33 billion cubic feet, and that means that several weeks now the natural gas has been drawing down off of very slim inventories built up in the summer, possibly the lowest inventories built in more than a decade, maybe even a decade and a half. So the natural gas, in my view, is very prone to a sudden and dramatic move up, just like the one we had run up to 320 recently. And it doesn't take much to get this stuff going. So if it gets very, very cold in the next few days, by the way, the orange juice, we had a buy stop at 160 and it's already 161, 62, starting to move back up again. A lumber, which we sold at 434, I think, or 43, maybe even 436, went limit down today, and it's locked limit down. So it's probably going to go down quite sharply here in the next couple of days.
Well, I wanted to show you guys this too. I'm sorry if I cut you off there. Go ahead and finish.
No, just the other thing is the grains are breaking out now to the upside. I'd definitely stay long the grains. Even the wheat's turning up, which is a good thing. So I think maybe the grains are going up because of the cold weather too. So
this is our news site, guys, and the top article right here: U.S. federal regulator approves trading Bitcoin futures. And you just click it, and there it is. It's actually a video. A U.S. federal regulator gave the go-ahead on Friday, that's last Friday, to the CME Group to start trading Bitcoin futures later. U.S. federal regulator approves trading Bitcoin futures. Of course, Trump and his people have said, Trump and the Federal Reserve, we're keeping an eye on Bitcoin. Well, you know what? They need to do a little homework. They need to do a little bit of research. There is no building. There is no computer. There is no server. There is no person they can fire. They can try, unless they destroy the internet as we know it, they can't make it go away. And I don't think they want to. I mean, this thing with China. Remember how China came out and freaked everybody out and banned Bitcoin and ICOs and all of that in China? Price pulled from 5,000 all the way back to 3,000 on that news. And all they were doing was making sure they control, because, you know, I got to say, in China, they're big on control. Now they're coming out with a government-backed Chinese cryptocurrency. They just didn't want a competition, you know. They wanted to own the playing field. So I don't know. Now another news just in here. Let's see what this says. Okay. Oh, this is just a press release. As of today, hundreds of blockchain networks are completely isolated in their operation, unable to communicate with one another. But this is about to change with an emergence of the Open Trading Network, OTN. Like the internet-connected separate computers. You know what, guys? Open Trading Network. If you got interest in it, check it out. What I have interest in, do you remember Patrick Byrne, the CEO of Overstock? He used to be on the radio quite a bit. Brilliant, genius kind of a guy. He has started his own exchange. Did I tell you about that?
Don't think you did. The last thing we heard about him was that he was accepting Bitcoin or something.
Well, yeah, he's been accepting it for 2 years online. He pays his employees in Bitcoin if they want to be paid in Bitcoin. Overstock Crypto Exchange. Let me just tell you the name of it, then everybody can go look it up on their own. Come on, search. Okay. Overstock units starting an exchange for digital coin trading. This is, I gotta say, guys, pretty big deal. I believe this man, Patrick Byrne, is about as smart as Jeff Bezos. And it's only because of what happened to him when he went public that he is not flying as high as Amazon. It's going to be called, the digital token market may be about to become a little bit more like Wall Street. T0, a subsidiary of online retailer Overstock.com, is joining with Argon Group and Rengen to form a digital token exchange that Overstock Chief Executive Officer Patrick Byrne said will be the first in compliance with Securities Exchange Commission and Financial Industry Regulation Authority guidelines. There's a pipeline of about $2 billion in digital assets sold through initial coin offerings waiting to start trading, with the first token expected to be listed in the fourth quarter. Byrne's long-term bet is that all securities will eventually be tokenized and trade using blockchain technology. An exchange that falls under the SEC umbrella is a step towards that. Lengthy article, won't read it all, but guys, if you want to study up on this, I think this is big. The letter T, small t, capital Z as in zebra.
What is out there
E-R-O.
currently to give your prospective investors confidence that...
So, if possible, we will get our coin on that exchange as quickly as possible. So, what else would you like to talk about, John? Anything?
No, I think we covered it here today. As further to what we just said a short while ago, the dusts are turning back up here towards the afternoon, and sometimes when they are in this kind of mode, especially around this 30 level, the dust can really step on it. So as you remember, I said 32 was a potential target for the dust. Could even go as high as 36. And the J dust is in pretty strong hands at the moment as well. So,
Mike B, look at this gold trade. You asked me what I would do. I'm just curious if you've done what I said I would do if I were in your shoes. Might be. And who was it that asked me for a radio trade yesterday, right before the end of the show? I meant to go back and look and see how that turned out.
What's a radio trade?
Oh, when I just go through the charts and spot a really good setup, and I close out the show with, if price gets here, you want to be long. If it gets here, you want to be short. Here's your target. Here's your stop. That kind of thing. We've been doing those.
Yeah, we went for one of these smallies this morning. A thing called CUR. Got in at around. I guess we got in the open, and it's about $1.20, and it's at around $2.20 at the moment.
What's the symbol?
CUR.
CUR. Any idea what they do?
Neural stem. It's got a good name.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and we a few others. Another one that's going pretty well today is.
There's the chart. This is the 1 day chart. Let's go look at the 5 day. Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Revance, RVNC.
RVNC. Okay.
It was hasn't really moved yet, but we got in it. Actually, I think we got in last night ahead of this move. So I think we probably got in when it was about 31.
Wow.
And
This is
we
5
actually
days.
got
Good job.
Thanks.
Very good job. All right. Well, thank you, John.
Okay.
You got
Yeah,
more?
thanks.
Go ahead.
We'll see you tomorrow. No, that's about it. We'll
All
see you
right.
tomorrow. Just to finalize, look at the juice. The juice is up around. Juice is definitely probably a reasonably low risk buy here. The orange juice, given that it's been so strong, and we haven't really had a frost yet. But if we get a frost, we could get. Remember, the crop has been wiped out half 50%. So if this is like trading places. This is probably going to be a trading places.
What a great movie that was.
Yeah. Okie doke. Well, listen, on that note, have a great afternoon.
Thank you so much, John. You have a great day too.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I'm going to run through the markets here one more time. But before I do that, I'm going to do something else. Stand by. Still checking. Can't find it. But I haven't given up. Oh, really? Here we go. This is day 3 of overcoming your fears. Hebrews 13:6 says, "The Lord is my helper. I will not be afraid." Let's look at 2 more. Mike, that's because they popped this morning. And because I know his methodology and how he watches the charts, he looks for unknowns that pop at the open. And he'll be in them for a day and be out. Or he'll take some profits and be out. So it's sort of like whack-a-mole. he's sitting there waiting for a mole to pop his head up, and he doesn't exactly whack it, but he buys it. So talk to him. Maybe he'll teach you his methodologies. When he and I became friends, I said, teach me, and he's like, you know. So I ended up having to learn on my own. We stayed friends the whole time. He's got thoughts and ideas and opinions that are different from mine, but on most of the larger points we agree. And that methodology of buying stocks, I always got stung doing that, so I stopped. I got myself over to futures, which are 100% electronic, no market maker, no middleman, and boy, couldn't be happier. Okay, overcoming your fears, part 3. Hebrews 13:6, the Lord is my helper, I will not be afraid. Now, if you really believe God is God, and if you really believe that God loves you and helps you, what's there to be afraid of? Everything in this life is temporal. Number 1, let's take a look at 2 more common fears. We talked about some yesterday. Let's talk about 2 more. Number 1 is the fear of not being good enough. It's not about being as good as others. It's about being yourself. We have to learn to stop comparing ourselves to other people and instead spend our time discovering our God-given strengths. Because we got something they don't. Because God made each one of us uniquely. You were born for a purpose. And that purpose may be unlike anything you've ever encountered. Talk to God about it. Talk for 5 minutes, listen for 15. That's the law. Number 2, fear of not being accepted. This is probably one of the greatest sources of loneliness in society today. And the internet hasn't solved the problem because deep down we all long for intimacy versus information. You'd be surprised at how many people go home to an empty house, eat dinner for one, watch television, and climb into bed alone. Even when we're surrounded by a crowd, we still feel isolated, like an island in the middle of the sea. But in truth, it doesn't have to be that way, particularly if you're a member of God's redeemed family. The key to being accepted is to reach out and accept other members of your spiritual family. It's kind of like if you want a friend, be a friend. When you allow others into your private world, you'll find they also welcome you into theirs. Take a look at your life today. Nobody's looking, and the person who'll benefit most from it is you. Insecure people can be the most difficult to reach because they're desperate to hide what they perceive as inadequacies and failures. If you need the help of a professional, counselor, doctor, or pastor, reach out and get it. Don't be ashamed. But do this. Try talking to God first. And through the power of the Holy Spirit, you might not need those other people, those professionals that I just mentioned. But I'm not a doctor and I'm not dispensing medicine. So I'm just telling you, if you need to go see somebody and talk it out, that's fine. There's no shame in that. The only shame would be that you didn't take the time to talk it out with God first. Because what God might do, He might speak to you through the power of the Holy Spirit and say, yes, I want you to go to this pastor. Really? I don't even like that guy. That's why I want you to go. Because he's going to tell you some things you're not going to like, but it's going to get you on the right track. See? He loves you that much. I want to encourage you today, whatever fear has you bound, rise up and say, the Lord is my helper. I will not be afraid of rejection. I will no longer fear not being good enough, because I am God's creation. And as we all know, God don't make no junk, right? That's right. Okay, let's breeze through these real quick. S&P, man, that doggone thing. By 2644 was last night's email. Went absolutely nowhere. And then on this final third attempt, it got up to 48.75. So, what are you going to do? Take the next trade. Gold, I'll go to that one since it's staring us in the face. Gold, consider selling 1277. Now, I had a typo last night. It should have, I'm glad it went the other way, okay? Because I don't have to, like, you know, oh, come on, please believe me. Okay, let me show you what it said. Gold. Buy 12,781, sell 1277. I would hope if you guys looked at the chart, like right after I sent out the alerts at 8:40 p.m. Eastern, you would have seen where price was, and you would go, oh, he means go long above 1281 if I get the chance, or sell 1277. See, if you roll down to the previous night's gold, see how that 7's there? Okay, so when I was backspace, I didn't backspace far enough before I put in the 81. The good news, it's not really good news because I'm long-term bullish gold, but short-term, if you sold 1277. Now, I would never tell you to sell right at a zone, but these are last week's zones. Okay, so if you sold 1277 per the trade alerts, oh, the swing low from 1277 was 1266. So we'll round that up to 67 to 77. That is $1,000 per contract available. Again, we never get out at the swing high or swing low because the trailer stopped. Okay, so just because the market made 1,000 available doesn't mean you can get 1,000. Trailing your stop, you could have got taken out right here. You know, price got all the way down to here. Maybe you moved your stop to right there, came back, took you out to the tick, and then continued. Don't get frustrated. Don't get upset. Be thankful you got all this. Okay? All right. Soybeans, consider buying 1003. Last night's email ran up 12 points, 12.50 a tick, 4 ticks to a point, $50 per point, $600 per contract move. NQ. We said to sell 62.49 if you got the chance, and it got down to 31. Make it 32. It's like 17 points at $20 a point. Here it got down to 37. About 8 points, and up here is 59 points. That's 59 times 20 per contract available. Okay? Do the Russell. I thought I already did the Russell. Apparently I didn't. All right. Russell. We wanted to be buyers at 1544. Well, that didn't happen. We wanted to be sellers at 1532. That did happen. Oh, but it happened in such an ugly way. All right, 1532. Now, if you were selling 1532 on a stop, we never risk more than $300 on a Concierge Trade Alert unless you want to, because it's discretionary trading. So unlike the live training room, it's your rules more than mine. Where should you have had your stop? Right about there. Did it pull back just enough to take you out? Yep. Does that happen sometimes? Yep. So then what happened after you guys stopped out? It triggered. And then what happens? Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. Back above the trigger. Down we go again. And on this one, you didn't get stopped out, and it actually dropped to 1525. About $350 per contract. On the Dow, last night's email said to consider selling 24,300. First move down, 58 points. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. Second move down, 69 points. Oh, bonds. We haven't looked at bonds today. Bonds are starting to look a little odd. I wonder if we need to roll those. I'll have to check. But anyway, last night it went out for the Z contract. Consider buying 154.23. Oh, just happened. And that's probably just about enough to stop you out. Again, guys, we don't try to kid anybody about there being some kind of miraculous method that we have that no one else has. You'll never get stopped out again. That is such garbage. You can find that all over the internet. We're here for one reason and one reason alone, and that's to help you learn how to trade. Once you learn how to trade, just like once you learn how to drive, you're good to go. I understand, Bob. All right. Last night on Crude, we said to consider buying 57.90 if you had the chance. Two ticks. Two. Count them. And on the sell side of that equation, sell 57.35. Well, at least there's a little meat on that bone. $57.35. We got down to $57.10. That's $250 per contract. That's what the market made available. Okay. We did the gold and put it back on 30 minutes like I like to keep it. There we go. Okay. TD Ameritrade Ally Invest to offer exchange traded Bitcoin futures. Oh man, we gotta get, well, our plan is to be on the exchanges free trading January 1st because we had to push back the partner pre-sale by a week. I'll probably be publishing some new timeline here in a couple days. We're going to have a webinar in a few days, and so if you have any questions whatsoever, first go to christiantraders.com and inhale everything there. Read each page, follow each link, read each article, listen to the videos, make a list of your questions, hit me up, support@cfrn.net. If you simply need the wiring instructions, email me, I'll send them to you. Okay? All right, so that covers each and every one of the markets. And that means we're done for the day. All right, guys. It's been a great Tuesday. Thanks so much for tuning in today. And you probably won't hear the outro music, but I'm sorry. I'll fix it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.